Our father stayed with us for a short time, enjoying our family being again together, except for our beloved grandmother. With great sadness, father informed us he was joining the fresh reformed Polish army under our great leader, General Władysław Andras. Father said it was his duty to go fight for Poland and hopefully get us out from the Soviet Russia as a military dependence. And it wasn't long before our mother got restless and decided the time waits for no one, especially for her. Her mind was made up. We faced our friends with a sad goodbye. Some of the Russians openly cried, "You are leaving this hell to be free. Who's going to save us?" We didn't have an answer. Going south was great risk, not having a government permission to board the train, but mother always had an answer and a plan that worked for her. She was the strongest interpreter. She bribed the conductor of a train, not with money. Rubles and chervins were worthless in Russia. She brought on a train a sack of light-colored flour, which she had stashed when father worked for a short time in a flour mill. It worked like a magic. We almost made it halfway to the concentration point of Polish army where our father was. There was some complication through the next stretch, but mother got us out again, and we made it to Uzbekistan, where we were almost safe, except mother became deathly ill. There was no time for deliberating. I had to go find my father. I left my young brother alone with mother. Later, he described the morbid sights he viewed close to where they were. The caravans of carts, some mobile, some driven by oxen, filled with dead bodies, and people being taken to communal pits to be buried. I was gone. He was alone. Should we remember? Yes, we should. We should remember the humans whose self-conceit changes them to bloody animals. My father at the time was in a hospital with severe malaria, but through help of many friends. Mother was brought back surviving a near-death disease. The rest of our time was waiting for the order to pack for the last part of our difficult journey, coming closer to taste the freedom. We lived close to the army camp, which was miles of all tents. Us being outside, bunking at the donkey stable where the kind Uzbek helped us. The heat was unbearable, never below 100. There was a piechka, means stove, where a few clay bricks held the donkey and camel dung, serving as a fuel for baking. Mother had some flour left in the small sack, and in the mornings she shaped something she called pompously krepsuzets. If you were hungry, you blew off the camel's dung and ate it. Tasted all right. When the orders came, we were issued a wisp of a paper. This was our passport to freedom. It was departure to Iran, 10 August 1942. A sliver of a great promise an unbelievable jubilation to be free. The long train carried us to Krasnovodsk to wait on the shores of the Caspian Sea, baking in the hot sun, waiting to march through the Karakum desert to board the boats taking us to Pahlavi Island. At the end of my first book, I described the crossing of the desert. I cannot describe it here now. It was a Gehenna of people. And that was our last. I feel honored to relate my past story. I hope it may help people here, and especially young generations, to analyze the purpose of the wars. The wars created by egomaniacs, the selfish minds, thirsty for blood and pleasure in human agony. My second book, They Called Us DPs, takes us to freedom in exile in Iran. It was our struggle to rise above the ignorance and stagnation of living on charity and constant help. We had to prove to the world that we had strength and patience to persevere with determination to reach our goal. Each of us, young and old, has a shining star to reach, to find the path of truth, to follow with faith and honesty. We were DPs by the label, but survivors by the mercy of God. The life in exile was a struggle, but it was eased by the fresh feeling, a breath of fresh air, freedom. There was a race for improvement in your physical image and your psyche, and the awakening of the mind, which became dormant in Russia, serving most the orders of slave labor. But now we had a chance to pick up a trail of education and the thirst for knowledge and this discovery of what we had missed in the last few years. Now with choices of becoming a human with purpose and free thinking, looking with hope to future. All that was necessary was a willpower and patience which kept our company through our many ordeals. Many of us, the overage students, persevered, proving themselves victors, reaching the goals of the selected professions, working continuously, working at it, without adorning their heads with the wreaths of wilted laurels. And finally, when the peace treaties were signed and the war was over, for many time to go home. The moral obligation was fulfilled. The battles were won. The blood of one color only, red, still fresh, had moistened the soil of many places on the continent. Now alliances were detached from the human flesh, of different hues, of yellow, white, red, and black. Now it didn't matter anymore, for the spirits were united without pain nor war. So others could live. In many instances, the great sacrifices were made by women and men. Today we salute the silent heroes and the ones that are still alive to give respect for their noble deeds. War is hell. If only by some visionary powers we could detect the first seeds of evil being planted into the sick minds of the individual seeking power for egotistical grandeur and absolute rules overpowering the people. If only you could prevent the danger and stop the growth of evil. Being aware and follow the events of the global history and the political movements may help before it becomes too late. It takes the courage for all of us Americans to stand up to express the concern through love of our country, to honor and protect our freedom, the freedom that was handed to us through the wisdom of the brilliant minds, the writers of our Constitution, and the ones who shed their blood defending us through the ages. I apologize for my outburst, but I take it